Good morning, everybody. This is a sad morning here in Israel. Very sad. I don't know how many of you are familiar, but give me a second while I just do some technical things and wait for people to come in a second. But you could see from my title that we're going to be talking today about the continued destruction of Jewish homes from Gush, Katif, Gaza. That was the Jewish community of close to 10,000 Jews who lived in the Jewish communities in Gaza that were destroyed back in the summer of 2005. That's 13 years ago. Till today. Netiv Havot, the community of 15 families, well, it's a larger community, but 15 families are having their homes destroyed as we speak. Right now, it's taking place as we speak. 15 homes are being destroyed. 15 families are being expelled from their homes. And for no reason. We're going to talk about this. For no reason. Here's the thing. I say for no reason because the powers who want to have our homes destroyed always find a reason. Right? If you think about it, right now, anyone familiar? 1 second. Just taking care of some technology. Okay, if you think about it, today, what's the reason? What's the reason being given for homes being destroyed, for Jewish homes being destroyed? Legal reasons, right? Legal reasons. The legal establishment has found reasons to destroy homes. Okay, so you could say, legal reasons, you have to follow the law. Well, let me tell you why I believe that is all a bunch of crock, literally. If you think about it, Gush Katif, 13 years ago, close to 10,000 Jews were thrown out of their homes. Their homes were all destroyed. Legally, they were fine. Right? No legal problems whatsoever. Not only that, on a humanitarian level, the Israeli Supreme Court should have overturned the decision to expel them from their homes and destroy their homes based on the humanitarian reasoning of that's people's properties and human rights, right? All the big reasons that the Supreme Court in Israel always stands up against destroying terrorists' homes, against destroying the thousands of illegal homes built by Arabs in the north and Arabs in the south. They always find legal reasonings why not to destroy illegal structures built by people who are out to take over our land and destroy the state of Israel. That they always come up with legal reasonings for. But for the 10,000 Jews who lived in Gush Katif, Gaza, the Supreme Court did not find any legal reasoning. They did not overturn that immoral decision to expel 10,000 Jews from their homes in Gush Katif. Which then, and again, all legal, right? They were all lived legally. No issues whatsoever. Which brings us to today, to Netiv Havot, a community in the Gush Etzion hills, right? Only 15 minutes away from Jerusalem. And here they found legal reasons to destroy these 15 homes. Now, there are legal issues. there are legal issues. I'm not saying there are no legal issues. Some of these homes are built on questionable land. And again, folks, the point is questionable. It's not, the land is not owned by anyone else. It is so complicated to explain the land issues of Judea and Samaria. It is so complicated. But it stems from the fact that because Israel has always had its hands outreached towards peace, towards our Arab Muslim neighbors who always try to kill us and destroy our country, because Israel has always had her hand outstretched towards peace, Israel has never applied full Israeli law and sovereignty over our liberated, ancient, ancestral homelands in Judea and Samaria. So according to law, according to the Supreme Court, they still use laws back from the Ottoman Turks, okay? You're talking about more than 100 years ago. Back from the illegal occupying Jordanians between 1949 and 1967. And they do not apply modern Israeli law. Okay? So that is the crux of the issue. That is the problem, that our own Israeli Supreme Court legal system does not treat our living in Judea and Samaria as we living in our homeland that belongs to the Jewish people. All right? And part of that, you could say, is political, because the government of Israel has never applied full Israeli law in Judea and Samaria, because, again, consistently since 1967, Israeli governments have had their hand outstretched in peace, and therefore they never wanted to rock the boat, or for whatever reasons, and apply Israeli law in Judea and Samaria, which I believe is the epitome of stupidity. Because if you really want to push people to come to the negotiating table to really make a peace deal, you follow Trump, peace through strength. How did he get Kim Jong-un at the table right now? Not by playing nice, not by playing Mr. Appeaser like Obama and Clinton and even Bush. He pressured them. He pressured China. He pressured North Korea with threats and pressure and economic pressure. That's how you get someone to the negotiating table if you want to accomplish something. So if Israeli politicians are seriously interested in trying to achieve a true peace, which I believe will never happen because our Muslim Arab neighbors do not want true peace with us. They want to destroy us, and they say that every single day, and they act upon that. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt for a second. Let's say they do want to have peace with us. The way to get them to the negotiating table is to pressure them. How do you pressure them? Apply Israeli law across Judea and Samaria. Apply sovereignty across Judea and Samaria. Give the Arabs the message, you guys are losing. With each day that you don't make a peace deal, you're losing more and more land that could be yours, even though it's never going to be theirs, if you ask me. But you pressure them to the table. Israel should be applying Jewish Israeli law across Judea and Samaria, at least in all the areas Israel is acting as sovereign. We want the Palestinian Authority to have rule over the Arabs in Shechem and Nablus and Ramallah and Hebron. Fine. Apply Israeli law everywhere else. That's the way you're going to force them to the negotiating table. And even then, again, if you ask me, it's not going to happen because they want to destroy us. But anyone serious, I would tell the leftists, you serious about wanting a peace deal? Well, then push them to the negotiating table. Apply Israeli law so that building laws, so that all laws in Judea and Samaria are Israeli law, so that no home of a Jewish built of questionable land would be destroyed. Rather, Israeli law would be applied. What's Israeli law? If the situation of today's 15 homes of Netiv Ha'avot were in Tel Aviv, right? A house, a building was built on questionable land. People were living there for 20 years until a court case came up where a potential owner is suing for the ownership of that land, where a family or families or hundreds of families are already living. Do you know what Israeli law would do? Israeli law would say, listen, these people are living here for 15, 20 years. We cannot give you this land back, but you will be restituted. You will get money and a different piece of land in exchange for this land that has just been proven to be yours. That is what Israeli law would be doing if these 15 homes were in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem or anywhere else. But because these 15 homes are in the Jewish ancestral homeland of Judea and Samaria, where Israeli law is not fully implemented yet because of what I just described, so the Israeli Supreme Court decides based on Arab rights, even though no Arab has proven ownership over any of that land. You get that, guys? No Arab has proven ownership. It's only a question whether an Arab might own that land, and the Supreme Court rules in the favor of the questionable Arab, because the Supreme Court does not make rules based on facts or ownership. The Supreme Court makes rules based on their value system. It is not a land court. It is not a building rights court, which is one of the changes today's Minister of Justice, Ayelet Shaked, is trying to make. She's trying to ensure that from here on in, anybody who has a land building legal issue in Judea and Samaria, it is brought to the courts, the lower court system that deal with land rights. Not the Supreme Court, but a court and a lower court that deals with land rights goes into the documentation. It goes into the proof of ownership to find out whether someone actually owns the land, and then base their decision, if it's owned or not, make the judicial decision based on the true facts of the case. The Supreme Court does not make decisions based on the factual evidence of the case. They're not interested in the factual evidence of the building rights. The second a piece of paper is brought to them just saying this Arab claims ownership, the Supreme Court then makes their decision based on that assumption without looking to find the facts and proof of the ownership rights. That is part of the injustice of our justice system today. Now, this is a sad day for the 15 families. It's personally a sad day for me. You're all sitting here watching me do this video. You're watching me as a co-owner, as a co-founder of the Israel Video Network, promoting videos every day all around the world about Israel and the Jewish people to counter the lies, to strengthen people's connection with Israel, with the truth about Israel, with the truth about the terror that we stand up against on a daily basis. Well, not all of you know, but the only reason I'm sitting here as a co-founder and co-owner of the Israel Video Network and Israel Unwired is because of what happened to the 10,000 Jews in Gush Katif. At the time, I was working as a management consultant in Tel Aviv, right? I had a career. I was a management consultant working for big financial institutions. I had no intention of starting my own website, of going into video production, of going into video promotion, of going into standing up professionally to advocate for Israel and the freedom-loving world, because again, anyone who understands Israel is on the front line of the freedom-loving world. Let no one misunderstand that. You allow Israel to go down, and your freedom-loving world goes down as well. We are on the front line. We are on the front line standing up and fighting the worst evil today, which is the evil that exists within Islam, within the Muslim world. No, not all of Islam is evil. Not all Muslims are evil, but there is a cancer of evil in Islam, embedded in Islam, interpreted as mainstream Islam by hundreds of millions of Muslims. And we here are on the front line defending the whole freedom-loving world, so support us. But I had no intention of doing all this. I had a career in Tel Aviv. But because the 10,000 Jews were expelled from their homes and their homes destroyed in Gush Katif, I then made a movie called Home Game about those people, about the youth, about what they experienced in Gush Katif. That movie I had to make on my own. No one wanted to give me money. I had to promote it on my own with help from friends, help from family. It became a huge success because it touched upon people's nerves about who these people were and what they went through in trying to fight to remain in their homes in Gush Katif. And when that movie succeeded, and this is before YouTube, this is before Facebook, this is before Twitter, I basically said, I gotta do this. I gotta use the internet. I gotta use YouTube that just was created, use Facebook that was just created, use Twitter that was just created to get the word out, the truth about Israel. So I am only here today doing all this with Israel Video Network and Israel Unwired and doing these videos because of what happened to those 10,000 Jews of Gush Katif. I basically said, that's it. Someone has to get up and scream to the world the truth about Israel and use the media and use the internet and use social media. So I'm here with you today doing that. I was walking on the streets of Jerusalem coming to work this morning, and it's so surreal because people go on with their daily lives. They don't know they're at this moment here. Let me just show you. There's just all these. Oh, I can't show you right this second. There are all these videos that it's taking place right now. The expulsion of the 15 families. I think the destruction of their homes is all taking place this morning, right now as we speak. I'm not there. I'm not there because I'm very conflicted about not being there. I want to be there. I want to be there with them. But I'm doing other things to get the word out and stand up for the Jewish people and the land of Israel. That's why I'm not there, but I have friends who are there and family who are there protesting and supporting our rights to build in Judea and Samaria and against the destruction of Jewish homes for no reason whatsoever. But so walking the streets of Tel Aviv, of Jerusalem this morning, it's a normal day. Many Israelis aren't paying attention to what's going on. They're not familiar with what's going on. They don't know that 15 families are being thrown out of their homes right this second. They don't know that. And it's so weird because when you're in it, when this is an issue that's important to you, then it's what you're focused on. On my Facebook feed, I see all my friends who are there and their videos and talking about it and posting pictures about it, seeing these 15 families, seeing the singing and dancing going on in support of these 15 families, showing the strength of the Jewish people. So that's my world. That's what I see on my Facebook feed. That's what I'm thinking about this morning. But yet, there are plenty of other people, they're not thinking about this. It's not on the top of their mind. It's not an issue on their agenda. And it's interesting because at first you get upset about it. I was like, how can this be? 15 homes are being destroyed. 15 Jewish families are being thrown out of their homes for no reason whatsoever. It's an injustice being done by the justice system. Like, horrible. How can people just be going on normally? But that's just it. That's the way of the world. Things that happen to us that we believe are tragedies, but to other people, it's not really an issue. It's not on their agenda. And sometimes it makes me think, even to the most extreme. I mean, I've seen pictures of the 1948 Independence War here in Israel. So you know that they were fighting for their lives, fighting for their survival, right? 6 Arab armies. 6 Arab armies were attacking Israel to destroy it and throw us into the sea. And we were a little country with a ragtag army, nothing official. And yet, you look at pictures of Tel Aviv and Israelis, Jews in Tel Aviv, were in the cafes, as if life was normal. But there's a war about there just trying to destroy them and come to Tel Aviv and throw them into the sea, like the next few days. And they're sitting and eating and having a regular life in Tel Aviv in the cafes. So this like really doesn't jive. But I also experienced that personally here in wars in Israel, where I've either been a soldier or I've been home and going to work while a war is taking place. Your real life continues even though there is a front line and a war taking place or rockets being shot. So it's just this dichotomy. It's really weird, but that exists, and that's what's going on today. So my world, my headspace is focused on the destruction of these 15 homes, the expulsion of these 15 families. But anyone who knows me, anyone who follows me, I'm leaving you with the positive. The positive is for every home that's being built, every home that's being destroyed, many more are going to be built. We are here for good, folks. And I explained this yesterday when I was in the video in Netiv Avot. When I was in Netiv last night, I told people this. Just 75 years ago, our people, the Jewish people, were being exterminated, decimated, genocide against the Jewish people. That's 75 years ago. We had no defenses whatsoever. We were not allowed to defend ourselves. The world didn't come to help us. We were alone, being decimated, exterminated 75 years ago. And look at us today, folks. We have one of the most powerful countries in the world, one of the most respected, one of the most powerful technologically, also with an army that's 75 years ago. With all of the troubles we are going through today, and things are still not perfect. We deal with rockets from Hamas, we have Hezbollah, we have Iran, we have our own justice system and media that is against us, against the Jewish values of the Jewish state. Even with all of these issues, we are still light years ahead of where we were 75 years ago. The Jewish people are moving forward. No one's going to take us down. We are back home. We're going to continue building. For those 15 homes, that are being destroyed, another 300 will be built in that same community. So anyone who thinks that they're going to succeed in stopping us from living in Judea and Samaria and expelling us from our ancestral homeland by destroying homes, by using the legal system to destroy homes, forget about it. 300 more homes are being built in that same community near Netiv in Elazar. We are building, we are home, we're going to go stronger and stronger and stronger. Never let any of these setbacks. 10,000 Jews were expelled from Gush Katif. It was a huge hit. I was in mourning for half a year. I did not shave. I took the Jewish tradition of mourning not to shave. For half a year, I did not shave because I was in mourning when the Israeli government expelled 10,000 Jews from their homes in Gush Katif, Gaza. They did that in order to try to bring peace. It just brought more war. You want to know when peace is going to come? When the gates to Gaza are opened in Egypt and the Gazans start leaving to go to live somewhere else in the world because they are not happy there. They do not living there. They are under occupation from Hamas. Let them leave. Let them live other places in the world. Let us beat Hamas, and then Israel will go back in. We will live there. Any Arabs who want to live peacefully with us will live peacefully with us, living a better life under Israeli control than they are living under Hamas control. That's when peace will come in Gaza. And the 10,000 Jews will go move back to Gush Katif in Gaza, and it will turn into 50, 100,000, a million Jews living in Gaza. Guys, you think I'm crazy? It's going to happen 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Same thing, Judea and Samaria. You think peace is going to come by destroying Jewish homes? No, peace is going to come by building more Jewish homes. Because the more Jewish homes that are here, the more the Arabs realize the Jews aren't going anywhere. And if they want to live in peace with us and enjoy the life and livelihood that Israelis earn, they will stop the terror, and we will kill those who are involved in terror and expel those involved who are still involved in terror. Then the only Arabs who remain in Judea and Samaria are the ones who want to enjoy living life and not sacrificing, not sanctifying death. Today, the Palestinians, which are a fake nation, they sanctify death. It's a culture of death. You can't make peace with people who sanctify death. So no peace is going to happen. But when Israel builds more, as Israel applies its laws in Judea and Samaria little by little or at once, however it's done, as the Arab Muslims understand, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere from Judea and Samaria either, and they see we're there to stay, and any peace talks is about how they can live peacefully with us, but there is never going to be anything called a Palestinian state where they have their own army and they're able to bring millions of other Arabs from the rest of the world to here just to destroy us with the true demographic bomb, because the true demographic bomb is not Israel turning into one state right now. It's the creation of a Palestinian state in Judea and Samaria, where then millions of Muslims come from all over the world, and then they're going to continue warring against us until they destroy all of Israel. That's the true demographic bomb. The creation of a Palestinian state is the true demographic bomb that will bring about the destruction of Israel. Anyway, folks, the positive note is peace will come. It's not going to be a piece of paper. It's going to be a peace where the Arabs understand that they will live good lives by living under the control of the Jewish state, the only Jewish state in the world where Muslims live in more peace and freedom than in any other Muslim country in the world. That's the truth. That's when peace will come. It's not about a piece of paper. It's not about destroying Jewish homes and giving away our homeland. to the true occupiers, because the Muslims are the true occupiers in the world. They're the true colonializers. They started in Arabia, and then they conquered country by country by country, and occupation. It's just everything. The whole messaging today of the politically correct world is all Orwellian. It's the Muslims complaining that the Jews are their occupiers and colonializers. No, it's the Muslims who are the occupiers and colonializers of the whole Middle East and North Africa. That's the truth if you really want to understand truth and go into the history books to learn it on your own. In any case, the positive is we're not going anywhere. 15 homes are being destroyed today. 300 more are going to be built in that same community. We're here to stay, folks, and we're going to bring peace, living peacefully with our Arab neighbors by building more, by applying Israeli law, and by allowing those Arabs who want to live peacefully with us to enjoy the fruits of the labor of Israeli Jewish society. That's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Share the truth about today's story of Netiv Ha'avot. Shalom from Jerusalem.